Okay, so hello everyone. This is Bhupinder Singh, and I'm a part of Developer Student Club, Bhopal Oriental Institute of Science and Technology. And today in this session, this is a two-day session, which will be taken by Rishu Kumar. And in this session, we will be giving you an overview about mobile app development with Flutter. If you don't know what Flutter is a cross platform development application development language which is a part of Google. And using Flutter, you with a single code base you can develop applications for Android devices, iOS devices, and even the desktop applications. uh, so this is a 2-day session. The first day we will be giving you an overview about Flutter, telling you all about the installation part and the basics. And the most and it will be an amazing session, and you will get to know everything about Flutter in the first day. And the second day is the fun part. We will be creating lots of applications with Flutter. So over to Rishu, so he can directly start the session.
Hello.
Yes, Rishu, you are audible, you can start.
Okay, let's wait for 2 more seconds and we will start. A few more people will join. Okay, so let's get started. And I am Rishu, and I am Android mentor of DSC OIST. And today we are going to talk about mobile app development with Flutter, as we have done the introduction part in our information seminar. So let's start our today's session, and let me talk about um, what is app development. So let me confirm my teammates that I am audible or not. Sir, I am audible.
Yes, Rishu, you are audible. You can
Okay,
continue.
thank you. Okay, so what is app development? Basically, app development is the process through which we create an app that runs on any mobile platform, that is Android or iOS. And basically, we give the users all the features or all the possibilities at their fingertips. And they can customize their app according to themselves. And basically, we will give all the steps at their fingertips, and they can use that app and um, do all the stuff that they want. So this is basically an overview of about app development. Now we will talk about do we really need an app? We have websites there that also performs very well. So why we need an app? Because websites can also work for us. So basically, we need an app because websites were really developed for the desktop users. And yes, we can use websites on our app also, but we have number of mobile users is greater than the number of desktop users. And if you have noticed, websites do not look very cool on your smartphone as it look like on desktop. So we need an app that will cover that part, and we will give all the users that features that they want in an app. Now it also serves as an extension to existing website. So we can give all the features of a website, including some other stuffs and additional features, into an app. Now the better part is that mobile app offer better personalization. So basically users can customize their app and personalize their app according to themselves. Now we have ease of sending notification. So what is this? Basically, We can send notifications to users about upcoming features or upcoming offers of that company that is developing that app. So we can easily communicate with our users, and this basically increases the user interaction towards that app or towards that company. Now we can use the mobile device features such as camera, GPS, location, maps, etc. With that device, and it is very useful when we are developing such an app that will use that features. Now, some of the apps can work offline. Even some of the online apps can have some features that can work offline. It also a plus point. So basically, we need an app. That's why we are here to learn app development. Okay, so let's continue further and learn what is native app development. So native app development is basically a process through which we create an app that work on both the platforms. Sorry, that work on any of these platform, that is Android or iOS. And for Android, we have to learn Java or Kotlin, and for iOS, we have to learn Objective C or Swift. And basically, we have to maintain two different types of code bases for two different types of apps. And one thing, Kotlin is an official language of Android, and Swift is the official language of iOS development. And this basically works fine. We can also develop native apps also, and we will have sessions on native app development in near future if you want. So let's proceed further and let me encounter a problem in native app development. So the problem basically is, let's say this man owns a company or a startup, and he want to have an app that runs on both the platforms, that is Android and iOS. So he have to maintain two different types of code bases. He have to learn Kotlin, he have to learn Swift, and basically he have to learn for Kotlin. He have to also learn Android Studio, how Android Studio works. For Swift, he have to learn how Xcode works. So basically, he have to maintain two different types of code. And if you want to add some more features to their app, or he want to fix a bug, it will be a little bit of cumbersome for him for do that. So basically, native app development has some of the disappointment, I can say that, because we have to maintain two different types of code bases. Now, this problem is encountered, or this problem can be solved by cross-platform app development. So, what is cross-platform app development? We have different platforms that are used for the developing cross-platform app development. So, what is cross-platform app development? Cross-platform app development is a process through which we can create uh, an app that can work for all the platforms available there. So we can create an app for the Android as well as iOS. So cross-platform apps also work on desktops as well as web apps. So it offers you a wide variety of devices features that you can use. And the most prominent name in cross-platform app development is React Native. React Native is developed by Facebook in 2015, and it basically works on JavaScript, and it has a very huge developer community available there that work on React Native, and it's one of the most prominent option for developing cross-platform app development. Then after we have Xamarin, and Xamarin is owned by Microsoft, and it is one of the options for developing cross-platform apps. Now we have Ionic, and Ionic is a company that is owned by Ionic itself, and it is also an option for developing cross-platform apps. And basically, it is a web app that gets compiled into native apps. So, because of that, web developers found to be very easy develop Ionic apps, and because of that, web app that it compiled into native apps, it has a lot of bugs out there, and it has some of the performance issues as well. So keep in mind if you are using Ionic for your app development. Now, today's session is about Flutter, and we will talk about Flutter. So let's proceed further and know what is Flutter. So Flutter is a Google UI toolkit for building beautiful native compiled applications that is available for mobile, web, as well as desktop from a single code base. So what this mean basically, we Flutter is a cross platform and we can develop apps that work on all the platforms that is available there, though we have only mobile version is in stable, and we have web and the desktop version are in a beta as well as alpha version. Desktop version is in alpha and web version is in beta version. But the alpha and beta versions are also very stable, and you can also use that. So we'll talk about Flutter. So Flutter is basically we have a huge wizard library out there that can be used to develop apps. We have widgets for everything. I can say that if we want an app bar, we have a widget for that. If we want to display an image, we have a widget for that. If we want to add a button to our app, we have a widget for that. So basically, we have for everything in our app, there is a widget. And in Flutter, we have no drag and drop options available there as we do in the native apps. So we write our entire UI in code. So basically this gives us much flexibility of developing our app. So we will talk about more Flutter when we develop apps, and so let's proceed further. So why Flutter? Yes, Flutter, because we can develop apps for both the platforms, that is Android and iOS. So today we are going to talk about only the mobile platforms of Flutter. So now, what is hot reload? Hot reload makes the development process very fast and very easy for developers. Developers can see the changes made in the code in just a few seconds, and it basically increases the development process very faster. Now we have huge libraries and packages available there that being created by Flutter itself, as well as communities also help to create that packages. And it's basically we can add a specific feature directly into our app, and we can just enhance our features of our app by using a single package or libraries out there. Now, yes, I have talked about building UI in Flutter is very easy as compared to other platforms, because in Flutter, basically we write our entire app with code. We do not have drag and drop options available there. Now, these all features help, and it basically reduces the cost as well as time of developing platform specific apps. So this is the major point that people are using Flutter. Okay, now the apps made with Flutter. So now these are the apps that are very popular and that are made in Flutter. So basically, we have Alibaba Group, and it's an e-commerce company based in China, and it uses Flutter for their app. Now we have Dream 11, and I am sure you guys have heard about Dream 11. It's just a fantasy sport app, and you guys have used a lot in the IPL that is going on. So basically, this also uses Flutter for their app. Now we have eBay. eBay Motors app is there that uses Flutter for their app. And now there are two different names, that is Google Pay and Google Ads. And recently Google Pay has rewritten their entire code in Flutter, and now officially Google Pay uses Flutter for their app. And till now it is the biggest achievement of Flutter. And when I heard about it recently in 2 months from today, I think so. So this is the, so now we have Google Ads also that uses Flutter for their app. Now there are different companies that are there that uses Flutter for their app, and you can check more about this on the Flutter website, that is flutter.dev. They have a huge range of apps that uses Flutter. So okay, let's proceed further. Now, these are some slides that I have included from our information seminar, that how you can become a Flutter developer. So before learning all these installation part or doing the app development steps, we have to get through the things that we have to learn to become a Flutter developer. So the first thing you have to learn is Flutter. Yes, you have to learn its visit and all. Then after, you have to learn Dart, and Dart is a programming language that is developed by Google, and it was launched in 2011, I think so. So it is also a very powerful object-oriented programming language. We can write mobile apps with Dart. We can write server codes with Dart. We can also use it for the web apps with the Angular Dart. That is also a part of Google. So basically, it has a wide range of possibilities that we can use with Dart, and it's also a very easy programming language. Mm. So yes, you have to learn Dart. Then after Firebase. So what is Firebase? Firebase is this, basically a backend for your apps, and it basically can be used with all the other platforms available there. So we can use Firebase with our native apps. Also, we can use Firebase with our web apps. Also, we can use Firebase with our cross-platform apps also. So yes, we can use Flutter also with Firebase. And basically, what are the features of Firebase? It basically serves, gives you all the features that you required for your backend, and it basically store your data. You can do cloud messaging with Firebase. You can send notifications with Firebase. uh, you can do the in-app messaging with Firebase. So there are a lot variety of users that are available there with Firebase, and it's just an awesome thing that can be used with your mobile apps or your web apps. So we will also have session on Firebase and how it can be used with Flutter in our upcoming sessions. So now we have optionals there that you have to learn, and these are the things that you have to learn to become a, I can say you have to learn these for to become a pro developer. And not only the Flutter developers are using AWS Amplify or the MongoDB, many other developers also uses that. So basically, what is AWS Amplify? AWS Amplify basically is a backend for your apps. As like Firebase, it also a backend for your app, and you can do all the backend related stuff with AWS Amplify. And AWS Amplify is powered by Amazon AWS, as we know. So you can also use AWS Amplify with Flutter and all the other possibilities there. Then we have MongoDB, and MongoDB is also a backend, and MongoDB is basically a NoSQL database, and also Firebase is also a NoSQL database, and you can do all the backend stuffs on MongoDB also. Now we have SQLite, and what is SQLite? SQLite is basically a database that people use if we want something locally on their apps. So it is basically not get connected to internet as the others get. So basically we can only use AWS Amplify or MongoDB or Firebase with internet, but SQLite can also work as without internet. And if you, let's say, what a use case of SQLite, so let's say if you want to develop a note app, that is note taking app. So in that you can use SQLite database if you want to store the data of the users without internet. You can use SQLite for that, and yes, you can use also with Flutter. So this is it for the optionals, and there are many more optionals available there. You can also learn Git. There are many Git and GitHub and many other things that are used as a developer if you learn any other app development. Now, so we have done the introduction part of what is Flutter or what is app development, what is native app development, what is cross platform app development, how we can become a Flutter developer. Now we will do the installation part, and we will do the Windows installation as well as Mac OS installation. So on behalf of me, because I do not own a Mac OS, sorry, I do not own a Windows computer. So on behalf of me, sir will demonstrate you how you can do the Windows installation. So at first, going through the installation process, let me describe what are the requirements to install Flutter on your system. So you need a Mac or PC, that is Windows PC. Then you need a 10 GB of available space on your computer. Yes, it is requirement, because we have to install SDKs as well as we have to install code editors. And when we create our apps, it also takes space on our system, so you have to free up your space. Then after, we have to install Git. Even if you are not using Git for your development, Flutter uses it for its source code management. Then after, we have to be good connected to internet, and at last we have some willing to learn something new. So let's start our installation process. And Sir, please demonstrate us how we can install Flutter on our Windows. Over to you, sir.
Okay, Rishit, thank you. Let me share my screen. Okay, so my screen is visible. Okay, guys, so I will be demonstrating the installation part on the Windows machine. So this is the Flutter website. The links are the links are posted in the comment section, and also you can navigate to flutter.dev to get to the Flutter website. Beautiful website. So first we will click to get started, and get started is the documentation of Flutter. Here you can select the operating system that you are using. We are on Windows, and these are the system requirements that you will be required to uh, get the Flutter development environment running on your Windows machine. So first of all, there are two required setups: the Windows PowerShell and the Git. And Windows PowerShell comes pre-installed with the Windows 10, and I also think it is available on Windows 7 too. Uh, but you can install Git for Windows. You can go to that, click on that blue link, and download the 32-bit or 64-bit as per your machine. By clicking on the 64-bit for Windows setup, the download will start. And after the download, you can click on the setup and the installation will start, and it's only next and install. I already have Git, so I will not be downloading and installing. After that, the main thing, the Flutter SDK. This is the main development environment that it will set up Flutter on your device, and you can then start creating applications. So click on Flutter Windows stable zip, and the download will start. This will take some time because it's 600 MB, depends on your internet connection. I have already downloaded it. So here is the zip file, and now the most important thing, where to uh, extract it. The best place to extract it is in the C drive, the drive that contains the Windows, but not in the programming file folders, because these take special permissions, and you will not be able to use perfectly the Flutter. So we will create a folder name as src, and then a Flutter. You can create any folder and just extract the files in it, but the documentation states that the document states this directory, so I'm following the documentation. And inside Flutter, you can extract the files. I've already extracted it, and it's named Flutter. For any information, you can directly follow the documentation. It's written in very easy language and easy to follow. We have downloaded the zip files. We have extracted the zip files in contained Flutter in the desired location. And now the last thing, we have to update our path variables. So since it takes a lot of time to extract all the files, and due to streaming, my PC is not giving too much speed. So I will be just showing you how to update the environment variables on Windows 10 machine. You can go to search and type environment variable, and the best match edit the environment variable will come. Click on it, click on environment variables, and here are the path variables. Click on new, and there you can add the path variable. The path will be src folder flutter, and there will be a bin folder. Since it's not completed, so I will create one bin, and in the bin folder, click here, copy the address, and add the path here and click on OK. Okay. So this completes the installation part, and you will see after doing all this, you can go in the command prompt and type flutter dash dash version, and after clicking enter it will show you the flutter version. So that's all for the installation part. Over to you, Rishu.
Okay, thank you, sir, for demonstrating us how we can install Flutter on Windows. So let's proceed further and let's see how we can install Flutter on macOS. So over to the that website again, that is flutter.dev, and we can just click on this Get Us Started button. Okay, so there comes a page that will allow us to select which operating system on we want to do the installation process. So we have done the Windows installation. We have to click on this Mac OS, and now there comes a system requirement there. And what are the system requirements? Basically, you have operating system that is a Mac OS operating system 64-bit. Now you should have running macOS Mojave or macOS Catalina, because these are basically the latest version of macOS, and so that Flutter can work properly on your system. So if not, please update your macOS, and then you are good to go. Okay, so at first we have to install Git. As I have said, Flutter uses it for for its source control. So to install Git, we have to go to this website, that is Git. You can simply search on internet, that is Git install. And now there comes a website that is getscn.com. Just head over this website, and you will get a download page of installing Git on your system. Now here you can install Git for Windows as well, so by clicking on this button, or Linux as well, so by clicking on this button. So it will automatically detect your operating system and give the correct installation for you. So just click on this button for Mac, and now it will give us a command that is used to install Git on our operating system. So at first we have to install Homebrew. If not, you can just go to the Homebrew website, that is Homebrew. Simply search Homebrew in your browser, and there comes a URL, that is brew.sh. Just click on this Homebrew, and it will give you a command to install Homebrew on your system. To install Homebrew, just go to the Spotlight search and simply search for the terminal. So it will open. Okay, I do not need this. I do not need this terminal. So simply open your terminal and copy paste this command, that is this. Basically, this is command that is used to install Homebrew, and Homebrew is basically a dependency management in macOS environment, and it basically download the external packages that is required to download on your system. So just copy paste this command, and it will start downloading Homebrew, and it will do all the backend stuffs, and you will get the Brew installed on your computer. Okay, if you install a Brew, then you are good to go. Just I'm not doing here again because it take time. Okay, so this is the way to install Homebrew. Then after, you have to install Git, and Git is installed with the help of Homebrew. So you have just copy this command and again paste it in your terminal, and it will install Git for you. So if the installation goes smoothly and you do not have any errors, then you can simply use a Git command, that is git dash dash version. It will basically gives you the version of the Git installed on your computer, and this is the way of installing Git on your system. So what are the ways? So basically we have to install Homebrew. To install Homebrew, you can use this website, that is brew.sh. You have to copy paste this command that will install Homebrew on your system. Then after, you have to use this command to install Git on your system. So if the Git installation goes well, then after we'll proceed further and do the Flutter SDK setup. So to use Flutter, you have to first download Flutter SDK. To download this, you have to just click on this button, and it will start downloading Flutter SDK on your system. Basically, it take time. It's of 1.1 GB, so I am not doing this again. And if you are done the installation, then then you will get a Flutter SDK folder here. So basically, this comes with a zip file, and you have to just double click on that zip file, and you can extract that zip file. And if extracted, you will get a Flutter folder here. So we have to put this Flutter folder somewhere where it can permanently resides, and all the users of this Mac can use it. So for this, you have to put this in the home folder of your Mac. So to go to the home folder, you can use a shortcut, that is Shift Command H. And if not, you can also go to this Go button that is available in Finder. So just click on this Go button, and you can just navigate to this Home button also. So this is the way to go to the home folder. There you have to create a developer folder or any folder you want. So to create a folder, just right click on this and click on this new folder, and it will create a folder for you. So I have created a folder that is called developer, and in that developer folder I have put my Flutter SDK, that is Flutter folder here. So download it first, then after extract it, then go to the home folder, then put that Flutter SDK in that developer folder, and then you are good to go. So we have added a Flutter folder there. Then after, we have to tell our computer that where our Flutter folder resides. For this, you have to again open your terminal and do all the other steps. So open your terminal, and at first we have done the parts, and basically I urge you to please go through this documentation, because this is the best documentation I have ever heard about or I have ever read, because this is just a precise, as well as it just give all the information about installation, how we can done installation of Flutter. So we have done until this part. Then after, we have to do some of the works that you have to tell the computer that where our Flutter folder resides. For this, you have to open a ZSHRC folder. For this, you have to use this command, that is Vim. And Vim is basically a text editor in Linux world. And basically, you have to use this Vim command. Then after, you have to use the still sign. Then after, forward slash. Then after, dot. Then ZS HRC. So there is HRC is a folder in the your users folder. So you have to point out to that. And to open that, we are using Vim Editor. So just click on Enter, and it will open the Vim Editor. There is HRC folder for you. Now we have to add the path to our Flutter folder, and in the Flutter folder we have a folder that is called bin. So we have to add the path to our that bin folder. For this, you have to just copy paste this command. I have already done that. So you have to just copy paste this command, and this command is also given here somewhere. Yes, this command can also be found in the update your path section, and this command basically gives the location of our Flutter folder. So we have to go to the home folder, then after developer folder, and in that developer folder we have put our Flutter SDK, and in that Flutter SDK there is a bin folder. So at this part, and to add something here, we have to click on this I button to insert something. Otherwise, it will not work. So just click on first I button. Then you can install. You can add this path to this ZSHRC folder. And if the path adding is done, then after you can click on this escape key that is on the top left corner, and just click on colon WQ and exclamation mark to save and exit from the Vim. So just this command basically used to save the and exiting. So just enter, and then you have got the Flutter SDK setup. Now, if you done all this part correctly, then you can use the Flutter commands, that is flutter dash dash version. This command basically gives you the version of Flutter that you are running on your system, and it will also give the Dart version that you are using. So I am using channel stable version, and the Dart version is 2.1.0. So if the installation goes well, you can run this command to check that if something is wrong, and you can just head over this website again and check again how what is wrong with your setup, and then you can continue. Okay, so we have installed Flutter on our macOS environment. Now we will install code editors, and at first I'm going to install Android Studio. So to install Android Studio, these piece given here. You can also do this from here. That is, there is an how you install Android Studio. So you have to click on this link to install Android Studio. So we have to just open a new tab, and this is the website that we can download Android Studio. This is developers.android.com. So here comes a button to install Android Studio. Just click on this button. And now, one thing I want to point out, that is these are the processes that are not platform specific, that you can install Android Studio on all the systems, that is Windows as well as Mac OS. And these are the same ways of how you can install Android Studio. So just click on that button, then you have to accept the terms and conditions, and then click on this button, and it will start downloading Android Studio for you. So it's also a very large file, that is it of 8.78 MB. So I will pause that again. And if that installation is done, sorry, if that downloading is done, then you can, uh, in Windows it will create a exe file, and in macOS it will create a DMG file. So you have to just double click on that, and there comes a setup wizard. You have to click on few next button, and it will install Android Studio for you. Please go with the default settings that will appear on your screen. Do not change here and there. So installing Android Studio is not a big task. So if you have installed Android Studio and open it for the first time, it will look something like this. So this is the first screen that appears when you first open the Android Studio. And first of all, we have to install Flutter plugins so that we can create our Flutter project. So to install Flutter plugins, you have to click on this configure button. Then after, there comes a list of things that are available there in configuration. So we have to go to this plugin option there. So click on this plugin. So head over to plugin configure, then after plugins, and there comes a plugins page from where you can install plugins of the Android Studio. So at first we are going to install plugin that is called Flutter. So simply search over there, and you will come. There come a Flutter plugin that you can install. So I have already installed it. If you have not done that, then you will get an installation button here, and you have to just click on this, and it will automatically download that plugin as well. If not, you can also search here that, and there comes the Dart plugin also. So you have to just download this, and it will ask you to restart your IDs so that the plugin installation take place, and then you have to restart your IDE. If you have done installation plugins as well, then you will get an option to create a new Flutter project. So just click on this link, that is create a new Flutter project, and it will ask you what which type of Flutter project you want. So I want Flutter application. There's an option available there. You want to Flutter plugin, Flutter packages, or Flutter module. So we'll click on Flutter application there and click on this next button. Then it will ask you to, what is the name of your project. So let me create an app, that is our first app. Then after, so basically, the name of your project should be of small letters, and if you want to separate two different words, you can use underscores for that. So this is the naming convention suggested by Flutter team. Now you have to add the path of the Flutter SDK, and it will automatically detect on your system that is where your Flutter SDK resides. And if not, you can you can manually locate that. Then after, it will ask you to where you want to save your project. So the project location. So I want to save my project on my desktop. For that, you can just click on this browse button, and it will prompt you the where you want to store. So I want to store my projects on my desktop, so I will click that, then click open. Now it will save my projects on my desktop. Then after, there's a option of adding short description of our project, so you can also do that. So I will leave it default. Then I will click on this next button. Now there comes a option that will say that add the package name of your app. So what is the package name? Package name is basically a uniquely identified name that is on the app stores, that all the app stores apps have the unique package name. So you have to add a unique package name that not the other developers are using. So for this, developers basically use their custom domains. And if you do not own a custom domain, you can add anything you want here whenever you are developing remotely. So but when you want to deploy your app to the app store, so you have to choose something custom that is very rare domain, or you can say that not the other developers have that package name. So this has to be unique. So I will name for now something like, you can use your name also, or you can use example.com, so anything. So please add anything that here, that is package name. Then after, we have the option to include Kotlin for Android code and use Swift for iOS code. Now these are the optional thing and that can be included in our project. So if these are not tick mark, then it will use Java for your Android code and Objective C for iOS code. But we will find with Android, find with Kotlin and Swift. So I will leave that default. Then we will click on this finish button, and it will start set up our Flutter project. And when it is done, our screen pop up with new Flutter project created. So let's wait for that. So our Flutter project is being created, and it basically take up to 1 minute. So our Flutter project get created, and it will look something like this. So this is the basic overview of Android Studio when we create our first Flutter project. And at first, it will come with the pre-install, or you can say that this code is basically written by Dart team, and this is basically a default app that gets created every time you create your first Flutter project. Okay, why is not? Okay, so this is the first Flutter project, and basically this is a counter app, and we will see how it looks in just a moment. Now, this is the Flutter files that get created when we ever create our first Flutter project. And let me first do the virtual device setup at first. So to install virtual devices, so what are the virtual devices? Virtual devices are basically devices that is used to test our code, and it basically like our smartphones, and it will test our code and give us a quick overview of about how our app will look like whenever we run that app on the real devices. So create a virtual device is easy. You have to click on this AVD Manager button, or you can also do this from this Tools menu here. So go to this Tools menu and search for AVD Manager. So here comes the option AVD Manager. Just click on this button, and now it will give us. Why is not removing here? Okay, so it will there is a page that will says you how to install virtual devices. I have installed a virtual device for me. Let me tell you how you can do that. So just click on this create virtual device button, and there comes a wide range of devices that are available as a virtual device. You can install TV as your virtual device. You can install phone, Wear OS, tablet, or automotive. So we will go with phone, and we will select our any one of devices that is available there. So let's go with Pixel 2 device and click on this next button. Okay, so here we have to download the system image, and system images are basically the operating system on which your virtual device will run. So click any of these download button, and it will download the system image for you. So I have already downloaded system image, that is Android 11 system image, and click on this next button, and then their window prompted that will says you if you want to rename your virtual device. So I will go with the default settings here and click on this finish button, and it will basically give us a new virtual device for us. So to boot up a virtual device, you have to click on this play button here. But one thing I want to point out that the new virtual devices basically take time to boot up, and it takes you time up to 10 minutes or even more if you have a very slow system. So I will go with my previously installed virtual device and click on this play button, and it will launch our virtual device for us. Okay, so we got our virtual device running, and let me close this. Why this is not removing from here? If I have prepared a workspace for us. Okay, let me close this again. So let's first see how we can open our app that gets created with our Android Studio. So for this, you have to just wait for that. Okay, so there comes a window and open how to open an existing project. So you have to click on this button to open an existing project, and it will ask you where your project resides. So our project, I have created project on my desktop, so I will go to my desktop. Then after I have to create click on this first tab that is I have just recently created, and click on this open button, and it will open your app for you. So we have just opened our app that is being created in just this is the reopening files here. Okay, so got rid of this. Okay, so we got our virtual device running, and we got our first default app running. So let's test this code, and to test this code you have to click on this play button, and it will start downloading and compiling our code. So this is basically a Dart code. So you have to just click on this play button, and it will start downloading or installing your app on this virtual device. So let's wait for that, because the first installation basically takes time up to you can say up to 2 minutes or more. So you can see the status here that what is going behind the scenes and what is Android Studio doing for you. Till then it is running, I will give you a quick overview of this Android Studio. So at first we will talk about the project structure of Flutter. So this is the project that is created whenever we create our first Flutter project or any Flutter project. So the first file that is created is Dart tool. So this is the file that is created by the Flutter SDK itself, and it is not very useful for us. So let me point out the useful folders in this Flutter project. So the first useful folder is this Android folder, and let me open this. So basically, this folder is the folder that's get created every time you create your first Flutter project, and it's just the Android part of that SDK. So we have all the Android folders that if you have done any native Android development, you will be familiar with that. You have familiar to that projects or the that folders also. There is an app folder there, so we have gradle folder there. So this is basically the code that gets automatically generated by our Flutter SDK, and we will write some of our configurations code if you want in this Android folder. Okay, now we have iOS folder there, and it is basically the folder that has the iOS code, and it also automatically generated by our Flutter SDK, so we do not have to do it manually. Then we have a library folder, that is lib folder, and this is the main folder of our Flutter project. Here we will write 99% of our code. That is, we have to so we have opened our main.dart file, and if we want to add more code, we can create another files also. So basically, 99% of our code are in this library folder. Okay, now we have test folder there, and test folder is basically the folder that contains all the
Rishu, are you there? Sorry, guys, for the inconvenience. I think Rishu had some technical difficulties. We will try to resume the stream again in a couple of minutes. Uh, Guys, if sorry for the inconvenience. Until till Rishu again join the stream. If you guys have any doubts or queries, you can ask in the comment section, and I will try to answer them. So it may take some time for Rishu to join, or we may end the stream then. But till then, until the Rishu's confirmation, I will show you the documentation of Flutter. So to learn anything, it's not always the need that you have to. I mean, watching the tutorials and YouTube videos are perfect, but you all should know how to read the documentation of a developing language. So this is the Flutter documentation. You can click on get started, and it shows you first the installation part. You can see here this all things are the get started, the installation part, where you can select the operating system and get started. Set up the editor, all the things that Rishu taught you in this stream about installing the Android Studio and installing the Flutter and Dart plugins in the studio. After that, testing the drive, the SDK that we have extracted in the first part of the session, uh, and then the main part, writing our first application, a startup name generator.
Hello.
Yes, is you're audible.
Okay. So
Share your screen. I will put it on the stream. Okay, your screen is visible.
okay. Um, let's start. Okay, so this is the first Flutter project, and we have our app up and running. And this is basically the counter app that we are talking about. And you have to just click on this button, and it will increase the counter by one. So let me change something here, and let me show you the power of hot reload. Okay, so we will find our counter variable, and it is somewhere here. Okay, so this is the counter variable that is initialized to 0 at first. Then whenever we click on this plus button, it will increase the counter. So let me change something here, and let me increase the counter by 10. So I have added a single line of code, and I want to see the changes in our app. So for that, you have to click on this hot reload button, and this is the button for hot reload, and this is the button for hot restart. So just click on this button, and it will trigger the hot reload for you. And now when I click on this plus button, I will increase the counter by 10. So as you can see how to load works, we have added something here and want to see something changes, how the changes works on our app. You can do that. So this is the hot reload. So we have done the Android setup part of that Windows setup as well as macOS setup. Now we will install Xcode and to complete the macOS setup. So for this, head again back to that website to install Xcode. So to install Xcode is easy. You have to open your App Store and simply search for Xcode there. So simply search for Xcode. There comes a page that will tell you how you can install Xcode on your system. So I have already installed Xcode on my system. It is saying me to update it. If you haven't downloaded it yet, you can get the get button here and just click on this get button, and you will it will start installing Xcode for you. Now one thing I want to point out that Xcode is really a very large file, and it is of 11.3 GB, and it really takes time to install. When I have done that, it takes me to 45 minutes to install. So have such internet that is 11 GB or 12 GB of internet, and then after free up your space if you want to install Xcode and want to do the iOS setup or want to develop an iOS app, so you have to install Xcode. Although Flutter do not basically uses Xcode directly, but it will Xcode basically used for compiling your files to iOS simulators. So whenever you install the Xcode, you will get the iOS simulator shipped with that. So you do not have to install the iOS simulator. And basically, what is iOS simulator? iOS simulator is basically the virtual devices that is similar to that Android emulator, and it is also basically the device that looks like your smartphone, but it is used for testing your codes. Okay, so this is the way to install Xcode. If you install Xcode, and then you have to configure your Xcode so that it can be used with Flutter. So for this, you have to copy paste this command. So just copy this command and you will find this in the iOS setup part. So let's open your terminal again and add this line here. So you can just copy it from that page, and if you click enter, it will ask you for password, and basically the password is prompted for the because we have added sudo basically means super users do. So you have to add your password here, and this password is basically the password that you uses for login into your Mac. So add your password, and then basically this password do not show to you because it's just because of security reasons. And if you have entered the wrong password, it will say sorry, try again. So add your password and then click enter, and it will do all the configurations of Xcode so that it can be used with Flutter. And one point I want to want to point out that you have to, when your installation of Xcode completes, please open it once, because you have to accept the few terms and conditions of Xcode or the Apple. So you have to click on few yes buttons so that you can accept all the terms and condition. And now you do not have to open it again if you do not want. So we have done the configuration part. Also, we have to install this CocoaPods. What are the CocoaPods? CocoaPods is basically the dependency management of iOS. So you have to also install it. So just copy this command and open your terminal again, and again copy this command. So again copy this command, and sorry. So copy this command and it will install CocoaPods on your system, and then you are good to go. You can use iOS as your app. So let me close this. So we do not need terminal anymore, and you can go through these processes if you want. We have done the Android setup, we have done the iOS setup, and we have completed the macOS as well as Windows setup. Now I think this process are very cute long, and if you are doing for the first time, it will very cumbersome for you. So we will provide you the perfect links or the perfect resources, so how we can download Flutter on your system, that is either Mac or Windows. So do not get worried about. We will focus now on how we can use a Flutter. So this is the basic point there. So we have created our first app. We have created our virtual device there that look like this. Now it's time to do something with this code. So let me close this pane also, close this also, and have some space. Okay, so let me delete this all code and we will write something from scratch. Okay, so I have deleted all this code and I will import material .dart file. So what is this material.dart file? This is the file that has a huge combination of widgets, and basically you have to import this file every time whenever you want to do something with your app, and it has a huge combination of widgets there. So you have to import this material.dart file in every Flutter project of you whenever you create. Okay, so import that file. Then after you have to add the void main method here. So this is the main method that will trigger your app whenever you first run this. So in the main method, you have to use this run app method, and in the run app method, let's name our app. So we'll go with my app. Okay. Then after you have to create a widget that is called stateless widget. So to create a stateless widget, you have to simply write STL, and you have downloaded the Flutter plugin, so it will automatically give you the stateless widget for you, and we will name this stateless widget my app. So you can also do this manually by creating this, that simply writing class, that is my app. So you can also write this code by yourself, but Flutter gives us such a possibilities. So you can also do that by using simply writing STL, and it will create a stateless visit for you. And to create a stateful visit, you have to write STF, and it will create a stateful visit for you. So we'll not use stateful visit here. And what this stateless visit and a stateful visit mean? Stateless visit are basically used to because stateless visit are the visits that do not change their state in the entire app cycle, and in stateful visits are the visits that change their state whenever required. So there are two differences, and we'll talk about a stateless and a stateful visit more when we create more app. So we have created our stateless visit, and in the stateless visit we will we will write add another visit there, that is material app. Okay, so what is this material app? Material app is a visit. So let me point out one thing, that our entire app is made up of visit trees. So the root of this visit tree is the material app, and it has a lot of properties out there. So we have added some few lines of code. Let me run this app from scratch to see how it look like on our virtual device. So we are using Android virtual device, that is Android emulator. Okay, so we have okay, just do that for me. We got an error, and what this error mean? Okay, let me add something to the material app and see how it works. So I will add a title to our material app, and title is basically a string. And to add a string to your app, you can use double quotes as well as single quotes. So I am going with a single quotes, and let me name my app. That is, let's go for the demo app. Okay, so restart this again and see how it looks. So we are showing error because we have not added any of the code here. Also, we have to add home property to our material app, and home property is basically the home of that material apps. And in the home property, we'll add a text visit there. So what is text visit? Text visit is basically used to display a text on your screen. And so text visit is basically used to display the text on your screen. So let me display something like hi there. Okay, let me run this app from scratch. So hi there get printed on our screen, and it really do not look very cool to me. So at first we have to add the scaffold to our home property. So what is a scaffold? A scaffold is basically a visit that is used to that has a certain properties. That is, it has a scaffold app bar, then it has a body property. So let's use a scaffold there and see how it works. So in the scaffold we have the app bar property that we can use, and in the app bar we can use the app bar there. And in the app bar is basically a widget that is used to lay the app bar on your screen. So let me use the hot reload, that is hot reload there. To use hot reload, you can click on this button, and it will trigger the hot reload for you. Also you can save your file, and it will also do the hot reload if you want. So we have added app bar to our app. Then after, let me add something to this app bar, and let me go for the title there. So title wants us to use a text visit or any visit you want. So basically title want a visit there. So I will use a text visit that will use to display the name of our app. So I'm going with a demo app here also, and let me save this file, and you will get the demo app printed on our screen, that is in the app bar of our screen. Okay, so what is difference between this title and this title? This title is basically used to give the name of the app in the recent tab of your phone. And this title is basically used to name your app, that is on the app bar of your app. Now there is a debug banner there, that is there for uh, indicate that this app is still in the development phase and it's not very fast, or it cannot be deployed to app stores. So let me remove this, and because it not look very cool to me. So this wants us to use a bool value. So I have just added the debug check banner and added the false to it. So if we add true to it, there we will show the banner. In by default, it is true there. So we have added the false. Now, let me add the body property of my scaffold by adding the body here. And body property is basically the body of our app, entire app. So in the body property, we can use a text visit there. And let me add a text that is hello flutter. Okay, so let's save this file to the hot reload, and we can see that hot reload got printed on the screen. So as you can see, we have added a single line of code and just save our file, and hot reload gets triggered every time, and we can see the changes in our app. If we want to do that, we want to do hello world there. So we want to add hello world. Let's save this file, and we got the hello world printed on our screen. And if you're not able to see that, we can just increase the size by using the style property of our text visit, that is style and text style, and add the font size to it. So let me increase the font size to 30.0, so it won't use to double value. So we have added a double value there, and it just increase the font size of our hello world. Okay, so as you can see that we just save our file and see the changes in our app by the help of hot reload, and it's just the magic of Flutter. Okay, so one thing, so let me go back with the hello Flutter there, because I have used hello world very. So so we have hello Flutter there. Then after let me so if we want to add this text, or want to display this text in the middle of our screen, so how we can do that? So for this we have to use another visit in Flutter, that is center visit. Okay, so center visit has a child property there, and in the child property we can use that text visit. And if you guys are worried about this commas and this comment, this is basically created by dart format, and this basically format our code, and every time we save our or hot reload our code. So basically the center visit is used to center its child. So we have centered our text visit there. Now there's an easy way of doing that, that is simply gets revert our code. So get rid of this at center visit, and we can add a center visit directly to our another visit. So how we can do that? Just click on this text button, and there comes a light bulb there. So click on that light bulb, and it gives an option that what you want to do with that text visit. So there's an option that you can wrap it with visit, and you can wrap it with center visit, you can wrap it with column visit. So let's wrap this with a center visit there, and let's save our file, and then we can easily do this. So this is the easy way of wrapping a visit to another visit. So we have added text visit there. Now let's remove that text visit and add another thing that. So let me add a container there. So what is this container used for? A container is basically used to lay out your its children, and it has a lot of different properties that is used for building layouts in our app, and it basically takes the size of the child. So let me add the color property of this container visit, and let's go for the colors dot pink. So let's save this file, and you can see that our entire body of the app gets colored with pink. So we have not added any child to our container visit, so it is taking the entire height or entire available space of our app. Okay, so let me add something here, that is, let me give it a height to our container. So let's go for the 250 height, and weight width is 250 also. Now save the file, and now our container get squeezed off to our desired height and width. So basically this is a very useful visit for the layouting, or the for adding stuffs to our UI. So container is there. So we have just so I'm just playing around these values, so to demonstrate how we can do the hot reload and all. We will have the session, that is tomorrow, I think. We have the session about app development also. So today we have done the installation process, introduction process. Now one thing is remaining, that we have how we can run our code, that is this 27 lines of code on the iOS simulators. And iOS simulators works similarly like our Android emulators. To open iOS simulator, you can use our Spotlight and simply go for the simply search simulator, and it will open the simulator for you. And basically you do not have to do this manually, because this gets created when you install the Xcode. So you do not have to do it manually. So this is the way of doing that. Then after, you can also search it from here, that is which device you want to run. And one thing I want to point out, that you cannot you will not have this option if you are doing the Flutter development in Windows. So we'll get only the option of creating Flutter apps or the iOS apps on a macOS operating system. So this is the restriction applied by iOS or the Apple itself. So I will open my iOS simulator and rerun this app on our simulator and see how it looks. So our iOS simulator gets started, and it will do all the steps. And we can see here in our debug console. Um, so it is booting up, and whenever you are doing it for the first time, it takes time. So whenever you are doing for the first time, everything will take time. So have patience for that. Okay. Let's do it for. Okay, so we have got our app up and running. Let's click on this play button, and it will also install that app on our iOS simulator as well. So we are seeing the status of our running code, that is it launching on our iOS 11 simulator. So let's wait for that. So it takes basically the help of our Xcode to build our app in for iOS, and for Android, the Android Studio does for you. So this is the reason that we need Xcode for our iOS development. My computer is doing very hard work. It's just streaming and running two virtual devices on my. Oh my god. So booting for the first time really takes about 1 to 2 minutes, and it basically depends on your system and on which system you are running. But every time, because it have to do all the compilation as well as converting the codes to two different platforms, because we are developing apps for the cross platform, so it have to do all the works. So first time generally take time, and then the first time installation is done, you can easily uh, push your code second time, or it can done in just a fraction of seconds. So our Xcode build is done, and soon we will see our app. Okay, so okay, we got an error. Could not bind the application for the simulator launching application. And okay, let's do this for one more time. Okay, so we got our Xcode build done again, and I think we should not have any errors now. Okay, why it is showing errors? So I will figure it out and show you tomorrow how we can do this. Why it's showing me error? Um, Warning capabilities for signing. So I will figure it out, and so I will show you how we can do this. How we can run our app on iOS simulators as well. So I have done this, and let me show you something that I have done it from just when I preparing for this session. So this is the app, that is demo app that's get created. So you can run your apps on iOS simulators as well. And why it is not doing here, I do not know about that. Okay, so we have done the our demo app, and let me finish the session because the session is have gone a very long far way. So what we have done today is basically the introduction part. Then after we have done the installation part, and then see the requirements, and we have also downloaded the code editors, that is Android Studio. And one thing that is we can also use VS Code for our Flutter development. And I generally use a VS Code for Flutter development, and I will show you tomorrow how we can install Flutter VS Code and use it for our Flutter development, and also see how we can run iOS simulators when I figured what is going wrong with it. So until then, we will meet tomorrow. If you have any questions out there, you can just ask me, and I am available to help you. Hello.
Thank you, Rishu, for this session. It was indeed an amazing session. And people, if you have any doubts or queries, you can ask in the comment section. We will wrap the stream in another 2 minutes. So until then, you can ask any queries if you have.
Do we have any questions?
Okay, Rishu. So I don't think anyone have any questions. So thank you
Okay,
everyone for.
we have a few slides left. So,
Okay, okay.
if you have any queries about us or want to connect with us, you can just connect. These are the links available there, and you can just scan over there and you can just join us. So, this one is the link for the DSC OIST, and second one is for the DSC OIST Android. And we will help you. We will also provide you all the links for the installation that is of Flutter if you want. So just connect us and we will provide you all the related stuffs of development there. And after, just connect with us on the other social platforms, that is LinkedIn as well as Instagram or the YouTube. And then thank you everyone for joining this session, and we will have another sessions tomorrow. We will do app development tomorrow. So till then, keep learning something new, and ta bye bye.
Thank you everyone for joining.